Today I'm going to do a review of the DeMarini Senior Nautilite Balanced and also the DeMarini full end loaded DeMarini bats from Wilson Sports and DeMarini. I want to thank everybody for your patience with the Swing Makeover Show. We haven't had anything out the last month because we spent a lot of time researching. With us not playing during the virus, we spent a ton of time redoing the 3 parts of the swing. We're going to start presenting that in about a week or so. Super excited about finding a way to teach this better, and rather than going through all 250 videos that we have in show episodes, we're going to put them back to back to back. The stride and the wind of the hips, the unwind of the hips and the body angle, point of contact, and then finally throwing the bat head into the ball and the snap. And I think you're going to find it really informative. Talking about the 3 DeMarini bats, what I'm going to review for you today are the Paul Sadler, Paul Stanley balance model. That's with the Nautilite barrel, and then the DeMarini, which has got a full end load. And one thing about the DeMarini bats is the best bat that DeMarini's ever come out with as far as a senior bat. You have the Nautilite barrel, so there's an expanded sweet spot. That's the one thing. It's a continuous fiber weave, so the sweet spot is huge. The break-in on these, I think, is all very similar. I use a 28 ounce in the balance model because it swings more balanced. It's not like swinging the old Ultra 2s where I was swinging a 30. And then the DeMarini I have a 27. My stats, I'm about 6 foot 280. I'm 66 years old, and I do have power for a senior, but I do need knee replacement on both knees, which is limiting somewhat. I've had back fusion, so certainly I don't hit as well as I did in my 50s. But what I'm finding with these improved mechanics and with these bats out here, it's about as good as I've hit in the last 5 years or so since I had back fusion. Just made a tremendous difference. These bats are premium bats. They're designed to break in and be used as gamers. They're not, you aren't going to get 1,000 swings off of these. I get about 400 swings on these. It takes about 70 swings, I think, to break in good. And so I think that's a very fair trade-off for having a premium performance distance bat that's out in the market. It's as good as any bat that's out there, and the best bats DeMarini's have ever had. The performance of these is absolutely startling. These bats here that I have, the 28, so they have about 125 swings on it, so they're well broken in. And Larry, the DeMarini, I just got out of the wrapper. It's got about 20 swings on it, so I'm going to take a few swings, let you hear what it sounds like, and then make a few comments afterwards. And then we'll do a compression test afterwards. These bats are all starting out around 1350. That's on a ASA compression. I'll give you the figures how they convert to U-trip afterwards. But I have a compression tester because I want to see where the bats are, and when they start to get around 1200 or 1250, then they get really hot and you know they're broken in. Otherwise, for you, take about 75 swings, rotate them each time, and you think you'll find out they break in fast, and then put them away as a gamer. The temperature today is about 80 degrees here in Wisconsin. I'm at Truman Stadium. The fence is 310. It's elevated up a hill. I'm using the same balls we'd use in senior play. I'm using some Microcell, some Evil 44 375s, and then some rocks. So this is going to give you a very good idea of what you can get out of the bats. And today I'm going to actually swing for power. When I play seniors, typically I can swing away a lot on my team, so I'm going to try to get the ball up in the air and try to drive it up and get some home run distance. And anything I miss, I want to make my plane so that I'm throwing and snapping over the top, so that if I miss it, I don't miss it on the bottom too much for a fly out or a pop up. I can miss over the top for a topspin line drive. Put that into the swamp. Oh, I just killed that, and that thing just makes such a great crack. Makes such a great crack. Wind, stay back, and then throw the hips, and throw the bat head into the ball. Too fast to even analyze the snap, but when you snap these good, they're just phenomenal. Now that's a 27 actually. I'll grab the 28. This has got very few swings on, about 75. Just starting to be in a very good broken in state. Long ball too. The K-up is phenomenal. That's in the upper 3s, I would guess. And anyhow, just a feel these. This is broken in, game ready after 75 swings. We'll do a compression test on it afterwards. No vibration, no sting, just a great feeling on it. A little jammed inside, but the ball just jumps off this bat. Very balanced feel. Again, it feels like swinging the old Mike and Ultra 2 that was so popular when we started. I think you could even swing this in a 29 or 30 if you wanted to. I don't know if they make a 30 in this or not, but I think you swing this in a 29. This is a 28. It feels great. Balls out. Good velocity on the line drives coming off. It just seems to jump. Well, I don't feel like it really hit that well at all, and it's way out, probably in the 350 range. On these, I'm using a double knob cuff, which has been approved by SSUSA. That's so I can get more top hand into it, get more of a feeling of not just having it between the thumb and forefinger, but getting it spread out into the knuckles here, into the base of the hand where you got more power. It adds a little bit of weight to it, but the one thing I figure when you're swinging bats, and the handle weight is something that Dave talks a lot about in senior softball bat reviews, but your wrists are doing the torque in here, so I think anything above your wrist is more applicable than what is down below here. I know that I'm adding some weight with the double knob cuffs, but because your wrists are throwing and torque in here, I don't feel like it makes as much difference here as far as handle weight, because your torque point is above your hands and that's where you're whipping. Just my opinion on it, and give it a try. Whether you use the overlap grip, that's where it's really beneficial. I use a full overlap grip, so the extra knob cup helps me get that top hand more into the throwing motion when I'm throwing the bat head into the ball off the hip rotation. Now here's the DeMarini, probably 25 or 30 hits on it. 27 ounce, again, double knob cuffs. Ball jumped out, and again you can hear it's only got about 25, 28 swings now. It doesn't have quite the same hollow sound. When you get to 75 swings, it changes its sound level a little bit. It sounds a lot more of a hollow thud. Ball's going to carry real well. Again, the noise is what you hear. The difference between these two. That's not broken in yet. It's still carrying easily over the fence. Line driver went out just great. This thing's starting to feel the break it even at 35 swings here. That's a ball that went way out, and that was well off the sweet spot. Take a look where I hit it here. Timing wasn't quite right on it, but the sweet spot is so forgiving on these. So understand this is a premium game at bat. There's no better bat in the market for distance and power. So what do you do once you break it in? What are your options? Well, a far better option is to go ahead and get the same bat. The Dale Brumgart is an end-loaded bat. It's the same Nautilite barrel that they use in the DeMarini senior bats. In fact, all of DeMarini products pretty much have this Nautilite barrel, continuous fiber barrel. So here you have a bat that's a U-trip bat. It's got a return on it. Use that, break it in. Sometimes I hit the Dale Brumgart as far as I hit the senior bat. The distance, when you're hitting really well, isn't that much difference. But you've got a bat you can use in the wet, cold mornings, and this bat's got an end load, the same type of a barrel, the Nautilite continuous fiber weave. It's a fantastic option to use. Get a bat, whether you use a balanced, if you have a balanced Paul Sadler, Paul Stanley, then you want to get the balanced Nautilite bat. But DeMarini's got the same barrel weave, so you have a very similar feel, so you can use a returnable U-trip bat for your batting practice. Phenomenal. Then when you grab the senior bat with that little bit more improved performance, you feel like Superman. The other option from the Wilson line, which is on the TPS end, is the Hyper 1. The Hyper 1 now you're going to have a different feel because this is a one-piece bat. But this bat for cold weather use and just all-around BP use that can be bought cheap, it's a phenomenal performing bat. Again, this is pretty true to weight. I used to swing at 27 or 28 in this. They're good out of the wrapper, but they just get better and better. The last one, the first one I ever broke, I had over 2,000 swings on, and that's in cold weather here in Wisconsin this spring. DeMarini's just done such a phenomenal job with these bats. They're highly rated by Dave on senior softball bat reviews, and the guys they have represented, Paul Stanley's a legendary player, and Paul Sadler's having a hell of a year as well. He won 2 of the legs of Mike Masenko's ISSA home run derbies. Just a great hitter and great ambassador for it. Of course, Denny Crine, a legendary home run and power hitter. He's been a great resource for DeMarini, and he's, again, another legendary player. I think a 3-time long haul bomber champion. Just great guy and a tremendous player.